Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for tarot scopes again. We're going to be doing the tarot scopes for the sign of Scorpio. That's Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Rising for the month of September 2023. Before we get to the tarot and the oracle, I'd like to look at a little astrology first and see what's going on in the heavens. September is an interesting month. We've been through a lot of transformational changes, as you know. We're still in the throes of a evolutionary crisis point in which we need to decide what direction that we need to move into. Of course, with your ruling planet Pluto squaring the nodes now with the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra, Pluto, your ruling planet in Capricorn, is asking us to renegotiate our contracts, renegotiate the way that we relate. And as one of the two signs associated with relationship, Scorpio is most likely busy right now because there's an understanding in Scorpio of what it really means to merge with somebody and the pitfalls of that, certainly. And so we need to sort of renegotiate the terms of how we're going to relate to each other and what we will accept and what we won't accept, both from each other and from those in power. So that's part of the evolutionary picture that we're in. We also had in last month in August, we had a lot of things come to some sort of fruition. And now we're waiting for the next steps to happen. What's the next thing that is coming up for us? So there's been a lot of shifting, a lot of changing, there's a certain amount of wishes coming true that suddenly the wishes are here. Now what do we do, right? So there's that energy. This month is a time when we really have to focus on the necessities of life. We need to focus on what it is that we need to do to sustain ourselves. All of the transpersonal planets are moving in a retrograde motion, meaning that there's a relook at the steps that have been accomplished, trying to figure out and integrate some of the meaning of those steps. So when those planets start to move forward again, we can move forward with the energy that already integrated in ourselves. And of course, with Pluto, we're talking about the soul and the evolution of and the healing of the emotions and the emotional body. With Neptune, we're dealing with the issues of what we believe, and there's a spiritual component to Neptune. There's also a compassionate component to Neptune. And then, of course, Uranus is the great awakener, and we've been awakened to many things. Now that we see it all, we can't forget it all. We have to deal with it all, right? Uranus gives us a bigger view and different options, and sort of breaks us out of our sort of Saturnian egg, as it were. Now, Saturn is in Pisces, right? And Saturn is a social planet. It's moving backwards as well, as will Jupiter be moving backwards, which is in Taurus right now, on the 4th. So we have from Jupiter out to Pluto all sort of moving in this retrograde motion, which means that as it's seen from the sky, we're moving faster. We're sort of getting ahead of them, and they seem to be lagging behind. But it's simply an optical illusion. It's our opportunity to integrate now some of that energy, looking back on it, so to speak, and integrating the energy. We do have a Venus retrograde. Venus has been retrograde in Leo, and Venus went retrograde in July 21st, the same day the Barbie movie came out, and it's been a big hit. So who knew, right? I haven't seen it yet, but I do intend to go see it because I hear it's fantastic. I read that people who love Barbie, people who despise Barbie will love this movie, and people who love Barbie will love this movie. So that's like all the ladies, all the single ladies, and any number of enlightened men. Anyway, off the Barbie subject. So Venus has been retrograde this whole time, and and she does go direct on the 3rd of this month, but she doesn't get out of her shadow of retrograde until October. So even though she's going to be moving forward, and now Venus is the morning star in Leo, which is pretty brave. Leo is an energy of courage. But it's not blind courage. It's not like just blind impulse to like get out there like it is in Aries. It's considered, it's integrated, it's held together, it's a fixed fire sign. So Venus has her last retrograde station before this one was in Capricorn, and during that period after her retrograde and she started to move forward, that's when the Dobbs decision came down. So Capricorn is on, not completely, but is the patriarchy. Now we're in Leo, and this is, and of course Leo is like actors and creatives, right? And we have the strike, right, of the creatives and the actors. Hopefully as Venus moves direct, they'll be able to do some kind of contracting and get some help with their cause. The cause of labor is very important, and I know I'm probably talking politics here, but very, very important. Labor unions are unions. It's about people uniting together to make it better for themselves against those people who pull all the strings. And that's very much part of the renegotiation of contracts I was talking about with Pluto square the nodes. Mars is a ruling planet for you as well, Scorpio. It's co-ruler to Pluto. Is moving direct all month, nothing retrograde with Mars, but it is in Libra, which sometimes Mars will feel like it's retrograde in Libra. Libra is considered action. And so this is this need to consider the actions that you take. Eventually Mars is in Libra until October. And then at that time it conjuncts the South Node. So that will be interesting. I believe that's October. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Libra. Okay, here we go. Looks like it's going to conjunct the North Node. Where's the node here? Right around the 4th of October. So it's in well into October. Mars is in your ruling planet is in Libra, and so you need to apply yourself to your relationships and that renegotiation process I mentioned right at the beginning. We have a new moon in Virgo. Virgo for you, Scorpio, is your house of friends. So right, Scorpio, Libra, house friends, house of goals, right? New goals maybe. Mercury, so we have the new moon in Virgo on the 14th, and 15th is when Mercury goes direct in Virgo. So it's, and it's is it a super moon? No, that was the full moon in Pisces. Okay, never mind. And we also have a full moon in Aries. Now Aries is a sign you kind of understand because you both are ruled by Mars. Remember Mars, even in that, and that happens on the 29th, I believe. Mars is still in Libra at that time. So it really is, and of course Mars in Libra can be the march to justice, right? Or the march of justice, right? So we're seeing all these cases coming down rather quickly all at once for the ex-president, who happens to, let's see, he doesn't have any Scorpio in his chart as far as I remember. But he does have Chiron in Libra. All right, that's what we're going to talk. That's what I want to say astrologically. I've been doing an oracle pull using the Ancestors and Oracle deck by Kylie or Kyle. I apologize, Kylie or Kyle, for not knowing. Gray artwork by Lily Moses. Lily Moses. There you go. The art is spectacular. I love the art in this deck. So let's see what message do we have for oh dear me, goodness gracious. let's see. I would just, more than one card fell, so excuse me a second. These cards have been flying out of my hands all day. Though I'm a little gimpy on my hands because I've been stripping doors. It sounds a lot more fun than it actually is, especially when they're super, super old. But and with many, 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 many layers of paint on them. All right. Oh, you Scorpios know that. You love renovation. You love bringing something that most people thought were dead back to life and back to beauty. Very Scorpio thing. Moon, moon says take note of intuitive messages. Well, lucky for you, you get them all the time. Okay, let's see what it says here. This is organized in a strange way. Oh, here we go. Warrior symbols. 126. I'm going to hold the card up because it's such a pretty card. I mean, you really need to see it as I read it. Whoops. Just trying to get it into focus. Use your intuition, practice discernment, see through illusion and blockages. Lunar energies are surrounding your life, allowing you to understand what is standing in your way. Not everything is as it seems, and you're being guided to use your discernment. When the moon appears, intuitive or psychic urges are increased. So take note of any feelings arising at this time. There are messages from your soul and angels. The moon shines her light on all that has been kept in the dark. So ask yourself if you are avoiding anything or refusing to deal with something of importance. If so, it could be holding you in the shadows when your destiny is to be in the light. If this card appears when you feel someone isn't being completely real with you, know that their intentions will be revealed to you. The moon has no secrets. She reveals all. Ooh, like that. She reveals all. The all-seeing eye of the Scorpio. All right. Now we're gonna do cards, and I think I'm gonna use my witch's deck if I can find it. This is it. I know I took it out and put it in one of these bags. Yes, here we go. One of my oldest and dearest decks, the Witch's Tarot. All right. And you'll see them when I pull the cards up how old and well used they are, well loved. I know I have a few Scorpios out there that watch these every month, and I've had comments that they love these cards, so I don't feel guilty for using the same cards over and over again. All right. Just a couple more shuffles. Ow. And we'll pull. Oh, need to put some joint anoint on my thumb. We have an herbal place out in Brewster, Mass, which is on the Cape. And he makes his own ointments and stuff. They're really, really nice. He's been there for years. Brewster is where Michael and I got married back in 2001. Space Odyssey. Oops. Goodness gracious. These parts. Ah! What jumped out? The King of Swords jumped out. As I speak of Michael. Oh, am I doing this right? Yes. Okay. Sorry. In this deck, the swords are actually fire. Most decks, the swords are air, but in this deck, they're fire. I don't argue. I just read it as I see it. Alrighty. I think we're all set. Let's put them back together. Give them a cut. Excuse me. All right. We have the Lovers. The Lovers. The Lovers is about choice. There's something interesting about this card, besides the fact that they're completely naked, which of course as a Scorpio you really appreciate. But let me just bring it a little bit closer here. You can see that in this deck, she's looking up at the angel and he's looking at her in a way that she is the angel on earth, and on the, you know, at the end of his hand is her, this angel, this energy of the angel. And it is in this deck, I love this particular Lovers card because there's a reverence for the woman here. There's a and the fact that she is connected to the angel that's above there. So there's this sense of sort of moving, and the path that this card is on connects Bina, which is the divine feminine, to the sun energy of Tippereth, which is connected to sun. So it's mothers and sons. Sometimes I call it the path of the Madonna and child in a way. But there is this energy around choices that need to be made. Choices, and you know, the best choice is always to choose the high road. The best choice is always to use the road of love and compassion. And sometimes love and compassion isn't just letting people get what they want, or, you know, fulfilling people's desires, but sometimes love is saying no to somebody. It depends on the situation. Let's see what's challenging that. The Hierophant. I'm sorry, the Emperor. Maybe saying no to somebody who thinks that they can control you here. This is about agency. This is about agency. The challenge is to stay, maybe the challenge is to be in a relationship and still maintain your agency. It's very easy with Scorpio to get codependent and involved because it's an energy of merging, and it's an energy of transformation and dying to the old and being reborn to the new. And sometimes you have to go through some pretty dark places in order to make it into the light. Underneath it all is a coming together. You're finding your tribe. Your tribe is coming together. So I think there can be some resistance to getting involved with other people, even if they are other people of like mind, because you don't want to lose your agency. You are concerned that you could lose your agency in that. In the past, we have the six, yes, the Six of Pentacles, which is abundance and celebration, sharing. This is sharing the resources, sharing the harvest, right? The harvest. So that's a beautiful card. In the sky, we have the Ten of Swords. This is the outer world. This is the outer energy. This is saying that you need to protect yourself on a certain level, but I feel like it's important that you're just aware of your environment with this card in the sky. There's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of swords, swashbuckling. Of course, we don't use swords anymore, but mostly we don't use swords. But there is this sense of, in this deck, this is really about you. It's hard to see, but we have this gentleman with all the swords, and he's fighting off all comers, and the woman in the back has like a tether around her hands. It's really hard to see because these cards are so old, but it's like he's freed her from her tether. He's freed her from her tether. And this is talking about the end of a cycle. So there's something that's coming to an end, and it's creating a lot of need to protect yourself in the immediate future. Now, when I do these readings, the immediate future is usually the month card, right? Because we're only looking a month ahead. The Ace of Swords. This is about the truth. This is about cutting away. You make a decision this month. You take an action this month, and it's an action based on the fire in your heart. You see the Leo up there? And remember I said Venus was in Leo and now she's coming out. Now she's a morning star with that Leo energy, very courageous, very willing. This is also about truth. So there's a truth coming out. There's a truth coming out. There are some issues in these cards around maintaining your sense of autonomy and agency. How it's seen from the outside. People see you as slightly magical, like a magician almost, like a magician. Nine of Wands. Domestic situation. Ooh, something new, something new. So, something I haven't done before. You can decide what that is. It's about taking a leap of faith as well. The Fool. Hopes and fears, love, family, togetherness, wedding. Depending on who you are, you can decide whether that's a hope or a fear, right? And the outcome, putting down the weapons and celebrating with music. This is one of the nicest sevens of swords that there is. But remember, swords are fire. So swords are fire. So it's about relaxation. It's about having fun. And so at the ultimately what comes of it is good things. Good things are coming. Time with friends. Remember I said the new moon is in your house of friends and friendships and goals. So it's important that you spend some time. Let's see if we can pull a major arcana. We have the King of Pentacles. Have a good time. The Horned One. This is the Devil card in this deck. In this deck, the Horned One is not really about greed, but it's about natural intimacy, and it's about sexuality and the power of that. It's interesting because we have the two people here again, only this time they're not blonde, they have dark hair. And we're getting another view of them. I don't know how different this particular devil is to the angel. Could be the same, it could be the same energy, right? It's just that one is higher in the ethers and one is down here on the earth. So the other thing about this card is it does bring up the issues of addiction. So maybe it's time for you to put whatever it is that you're addicted to, alcohol, I don't know, Adderall, I don't even know what you can be addicted to, whatever it is, it needs to be looked at so that you don't find yourself out of control. Okay, make the clean cut. The decision needs to be made. If you want agency, you have to give up the addiction. Wow, that came up. I don't know who that's for, but there you go. And you're going to feel like you're behind the 8 ball and you have a lot to go and there's a lot of boulders to move. Don't forget to use your mind. Don't forget to use the power of your mind as well and your ability to focus your intention. It's not all about heavy lifting here. It's about focusing the mind and then balancing the scales of justice. Balancing the scales. It's time to find balance and foster balance in your life, Scorpio. Not always easy. Scorpio is a sign of extremes, and you tend to go there more often than others. But that's the story, Morning Glories. That's what's being told. That's the story being told today for September. Please like and subscribe if you would. Thumbs up goes a long way. Share if you might. Especially if there's a Scorpio in your life that may benefit from this information. You can become a patron if you're so inclined. You can, the link is below. You can get a reading with me. I do astrology, Kabbalah, numerology readings. They're a combination reading, very unique. Most people who get them find them very, very helpful and very enlightening. I have an hour and a half and an hour sessions. If it's your first time, I do prefer the 90 minutes. If you can afford it, I do try to keep the prices relatively affordable. You can check that out on my website. The link is below. And in this month, in September, I'm going to be doing a beginner's astrology class for those of you who are who want to know a little bit more about astrology. If you already know about astrology, I find beginners classes are good because each teacher teaches in a different way and has a different perspective. So it can, even if you know astrology, it can really deepen your understanding. It's one of my favorite things to teach. I'm also going to be doing an introduction to the Kabbalah. So if you're interested in that, email me. The email I think is below, or if not, it's connected to my channel. I should probably add it if it's not below. And get yourself on the list. All right. And just, I'm telling you to get on a list. There's 6 classes and they're held on consecutive whatever day I choose, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Sometimes I do it in the afternoon if people are available in the afternoon. I'm on the East Coast, so I generally do it from 7 to 9 Eastern, because then I can get people on the West Coast involved without it, getting in the way of their work day, work week, or whatever. All right, have yourself a great one, and I'll see you again next month. Take care, everyone. Be careful out there, and if it's hurting you, stop it. All right, love ya. Namaste.